Hi everyone, my name is Tabitha from TaroWorks and welcome to our deep dive session today on Cascading Selects. Cascading Selects empower you to create dependent pick lists in your TaroWorks forms. And Nelly will take us through this feature today, reviewing the basics for usage as well as best practices. We're going to start off with a little Cascading Select trivia that I'm going to launch now. So the answer to the trivia is a myth. So there's a myth that for a single select list, you should not have more than 7 options because that's roughly the size of the unit of information which your memory works. However, that's not necessarily relevant because lists are inherently scannable. You are not required to hold all the options in your memory in order to process your decision. However, it's always a good user experience to avoid presenting irrelevant information to a user. And Nelly is going to show you how to do just that using Cascading Selects. And without further ado, I'll pass the baton to Nelly. Nelly, take it away.
Thank you, Tabitha. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm super excited to teach you how to use Cascading Selects to streamline your TaroWorks jobs. In today's agenda, we are going to look at Introduction to Cascading Selects. We shall see a demo on how to create and upload a CSV file in Salesforce. Another demo on how to add a Cascading Select question on the form builder. Then finally on demo, we shall see how to update an option set when adding or changing a level in a CSV file. And finally, we shall look at some of the best practices when using Cascading Select. Cascading Selects are defined as dependent pick lists. The options that are presented in a pick list question can be narrowed down based on the option that was selected in the previous pick list question. This means the choice you select for question 1 changes the option available in question 2. An example is the selection of a country, then states in that country, then cities in that state. This feature streamlines the mobile user experience to save time and increase the quality of data. Cascading selects are best suited for static data sets. For example, geographies or expense categories that may change annually or biannually. Dynamic data like customer or beneficiary lists that will change daily would be better shared with your mobile users through a drill-down hierarchy where the dataset is dynamically built on every sync. So, the compatible field types for mapping a cascading select question include text, text area, long text area, and rich text area. Now, let's see how a CSV is created and uploaded in Salesforce. The first step in creating a cascading select question is to upload the dataset of dependent simple select values. This will be a CSV file containing all the valid combination of selections for a series of single select questions. For our use case today, we want to enable the mobile user to select the country, state, and city a beneficiary is from in our form. So, we are going to upload a CSV containing 3 columns: country, state, and city. And each row will contain a valid combination of selections. These data sets will be used to narrow down the state options displayed based on the country selected, and then the city options displayed based on the state selected. Let's quickly see an example of a CSV file. Seems that my screen is hanging a bit. Sorry for that. Okay, so this is an example of how a CSV file looks like. And there are a couple of factors to consider when creating it. Number one, the header of each column will be presented as the question for that single select list. Number two, there must be a minimum of 2 rows in the CSV file, like in my case here. Again, you should never leave any cells blank. And number four, no row should be a duplicate of another. If that happens, an error message is drawn that row 2 is a duplicate of row 1. Finally, text should be in UTF-8 encoding so as to enable you to upload values with special characters. If this is not saved in that format, an error message is drawn that the file is not in UTF-8 format and contains special characters. It must be converted to be able to upload it. So, before going to a demo on how to upload a CSV file in Salesforce, let's quickly see how we can save the file in UTF-8 encoding. So, let's say this is our file. Click on Files, then click on Save As. Let's choose to save our file on the desktop. So I'll click Desktop, then can enter the name for our file as Cascading Selects. Then from the drop down here, ensure that you select the CSV UTF-8, delimited.csv. And now you can save your file. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and upload our CSV in Salesforce. So, from the Forms tab here, click Cascading Select Manager, then click New. You'll then see the new Cascade Select screen as shown here. In the title field, enter a name for your option sets. And then you may optionally add a description here. So I'll enter the title for my option set as Regions. At 29 September 2021. Then under the description, I'll say beneficiary locations. From here, I'll click Choose File to open my computer's files. And then I'll select the CSV file I built from here. So this is the CSV file I'm going to use. Then I'll click on Open. From there, I'll click Save. So if the list is formatted correctly, the status should be in processing mode. Once I refresh the list, the formatting should be, the status should change to ready. And now I'll be able to use it in Cascading Select question. So if there is any formatting error, the status will be set to invalid, and an email will be sent to you explaining the reason. If you want to change the title of your option sets, you can click on Edit here. I think that's clear. So, with our file successfully uploaded in Salesforce, we'll now add a Cascading Select question on the form builder. To do this, you can edit an existing draft form or create a new form. I have gone ahead and created a draft beneficiary registration form that collects the name, gender, and date of birth. Let's go ahead and add the Cascading Select question. So, from the left margin here, you can click on Cascading Selects, or you can click and drag it to insert into the form. Then, enter a caption to describe the series of questions. So here I'll say, beneficiary area of residence. Then, under the supporting text, I'll say, select beneficiary area of residence. I check required. And then from the drop down here, I'll select our newly uploaded CSV file to load for this question. In our cases, regions at 29th September. Sorry, this was an error. 20121. So, click Save, and then save again. Now, let's go to field mapping section and map our fields. So I'll scroll down here and map country to country, and then state to state, and finally city to city. Then I'll save. Go back to Forms tab, and from the green play here, I'll publish my form. Okay. Let's switch hats and see the mobile user experience when using Cascading Selects. So I'll click on Sync. Let's give it a moment. Then OK. And now click on Jobs. Our job is Register New Beneficiary. Click on that, then New Job. Start New Job. So let's enter the beneficiary name. Let's say this is Emias Edwin. Then click Next. Is a male. Then Next. Let's choose the date of birth as that. Then click Next. Next again. Now, when I select the country here, For example, United States. This narrows down to the states in United States. Then when I select the state, let's say New York, it now narrows down to the cities in New York State. Let's go back and select a different country and see how this looks like. So let's say select a country like Australia, then click next. Now it narrows down to the states in Australia. And then when I choose, let's say Queensland, now narrows down to the city in Queensland. Okay, so you realize that this saves the mobile users time, since they don't have to scroll through the old lists, as well as reducing the possibility of any errors, hence increasing the quality of data. So click next. Let's mark this as complete. Then let's sync now.
Okay, we have one question from Daniel, and Daniel is asking, can I make changes to the CSV file once I upload to Salesforce? Daniel, I think that will be the next. Nelly will be covering that in the next demo. So let's wait and see. Then we'll confirm if that answers your question. Okay, Nelly, go on.
Okay, thank you, Tabitha. So let's click OK. And now go back to Salesforce and see how our registered record appears. So our object is beneficiary. Let's get it from here, sorry. Then can say view all, and here is our record. So click there. Now this is the information about the record. I think that's clear now. Okay. In a case where you want to make changes to your option sets, like adding or changing the options, you'll need to update the initial offline CSV file by adding the additional new options. I think now this is going to answer Daniel's question. So let's say you're expanding our organization, and now we need to add more regions. For example, Kenya, country like Kenya, then Central as the states, and then Nairobi as the city. I'll then have to add that in my existing CSV file. So let's add that, Kenya. Now the state is Central, and then the city is Nairobi. We can add another state and city in Kenya. So Kenya, then let's say again it's Central, and then this time is the city is Kiambu. Can add another one, Kenya. Then a state like Nyanza, then say Kisumu as the city. So what we have to do, we have to newly save our file. Again, the file, then save as. We can now change these to updated 9 countries. updated 9 countries. So again, ensure that it's in UTF-8 encoding and then click Save. Okay, I'll then go ahead and upload the newly updated CSV file to Salesforce, just as we previously did. So from the Forms tab again, let's edit our form. Click Edit. Sorry for that. We are uploading, sorry. Okay, so Forms, then Cascading Select Manager, then say New again. And now let's call our title Updated Regions at 29th September 2021. Then let's not add the description for now. Then from here, we can now choose our new CSV, which is updated 9 countries. Then click on Open, then Save. And now it's now added in this processing status. Once we refresh, if it's formatted correctly, it should change to ready, as you can see here. Okay, we can now use that in our Cascading Select question. So again, from the Forms tab, let's edit our form. Question builder. You can use the same question, but then change the updated and uploaded CSV file. So I'll click on edit there. From the drop down here, I'll now select the newly updated and uploaded CSV file. So here it is, then click Save. Then save again. Now, I'll have to go back to field mapping and remap my fields. So again, let's map country to country, state to state, and then city to city, and save. Let's go back to Forms and republish our form. And now it will be ready to be used in our job. So, see the mobile user experience again, click Sync. Then, okay, jobs. Let's call our beneficiary this time, Paisley Timothy. Then click Next. She's a female. Then Next. Here's the date of birth. Then Next. Next again. Now, you can choose our newly updated option, which is Kenya. And now that narrows down to the states in Kenya, which is Central and Nyanza. You can select Central. And next again, let's say the city is Nairobi, and click Next. Next, and then mark this complete. You can sync now. Give it a few.
As we wait for the thing to complete, checking with Daniel if that answers your question on if you need to change the options. Okay, yes, confirmed.
Okay, now successfully synced. So we can go back to Salesforce again and see our record. So let's view all. And here is our record. Okay, I think that's great. So,
sorry, Nelly, to cut you. Before you proceed, we have a couple of questions. So we have one from Rufus asking, so which field type should be, what should be the country, state, and city fields in Salesforce? So here we need to confirm that the fields that are compatible with Cascading Select questions. So this is text, text area, long text area, and rich text area. So those are the fields that will be compatible with your Cascading Select question. Okay, go ahead, Nelly.
okay, thank you, Tabitha. Okay, now we can look at some of the best practices when using Cascading Selects. And number one, it is recommended to locally save your CSV file, as this will be important when you want to make any changes to your option set, like adding or changing the options, just as we did in our demo. Number two, you should never forget to field map Cascading Select questions after choosing a new file. Then finally, should only use Cascading Selects for static data sets, that is, for the data that does not require frequent update. There are also a number of limits when using Cascading Selects. Number one, the maximum number of columns should be 6. If the columns exceed 6, an error message is drawn that there can only be 6 levels in a Cascading Select. The uploaded file are 7 or more. Then number 2, Cascading Selects cannot be used in repeat sections. So we use them in regular sections only. And finally, can only have a maximum of 10,000 total options in all Cascading Selects in a form, so as to stay under the Salesforce processing limits. I'll now pause and open the floor for any further questions. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Thank you so much, Nelly. Good. So we have one question from Jane. So Jane is asking, is skip logic and scoring supported in Cascading Select?
Okay. Thank you for that question, Jane. So, scoring is not available for Cascading Select, but you can set show or ahead logic for Cascading Select question as normal. Although, Cascading Select question cannot be used as a condition for other questions.
All right, Jane confirmed. Right, another question, Betty. Dynamic operations supported in Cascading Select. So I can take this one. So dynamic, in dynamic operations, yes. So you can use the selected values to use them in dynamic operations, but you cannot use dynamic operations, to set the values. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you so much, Nelly. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.